welcome into another episode of the Pain and Panda podcast. Adam Sheets, Chris Reynolds, again joined by special guest Packers fan Joe Tuman, celebrating what looks like is going to be a win. Getting a little tight here though in the last 2 minutes, Joe.
Adam,
No, it's not.
The Steelers just scored and are going for 2. If they recover the onside
really?
kick,
They
they'll
really
get the ball.
scored?
Yeah, they'll get the
Oh
ball
my
down
God.
8. So there's a chance.
How did you
But
convince me to start before the game ended? I never would do that.
But as we move on, it was a boring day of football, I think. There were a couple interesting games. Jets-Bengals was fun. There was some surprising turn of events. But really, overall, the, suspense of the weekend wasn't really there this week, which is kind of interesting. We've had a good slate so far, but today just wasn't the day.
Yeah, today was a pretty boring. Like at the start of every single slate was pretty slow. The 1:00 games, I remember looking like, here we go, and nothing was really happening. I think the first touchdown was Harold Fannin from Dylan Gabriel, and that was like the first touchdown. I'm like, all right, let's get something going. It was just field goals to start.
No,
4:00 games.
No,
it was a 60-yard Saquon.
There was a 65-yard Saquon Barkley touchdown on the first play of the game in a game this weekend.
You know what? I was watching that with some family who were Giants fans, so we were trying to block that out. But then I go to the 4:00 games, Adam, and look, Adam thinks I'm a fair weather fan. I'm going to watch the Saints game.
Well, there's 3 games on, so I hope.
Spencer Rattler. No, but I was like, all right, I'm just going to lock in. It starts with Spencer Rattler getting strip sacked. Or actually, no, he was running. It wasn't a sack, but he got stripped when he was running. And I'm like, oh my God. And then he throws the ball to the Buccaneers defense right in front of the end zone. They get a touchdown. There were at least 2, maybe 3 other instances. There were 3 where Antoine Winfield thought he might have picked it off or recovered the fumble and not been touched yet, and he returned it for a touchdown. And in all 3, they ruled he was either down by contact or like the ball touched the ground or something, or it wasn't
an inadvertent whistle that stopped the one.
Yeah, like all 3 probably were like this close to being a defensive touchdown. So terrible game for me. Rattler got benched. And then this game was probably like the best game once the Packers kind of kicked into gear and stopped trying to kick field goals because that was not working for them.
Well, I wouldn't even say this was a good game because the first half was super sloppy for both teams. And then the second half, the Packers kind of blew the Steelers out of the water, although the Steelers apparently just scored.
No, you're good. You're good. They didn't get the 2-point conversion, and the Packers just recovered the onside kick. So they're up 10 and they get the ball back. So the
that's
game's
good.
Over,
all right, so we're going to get this win, which is very exciting. Last time I was on this pod, I was a little critical of the Packers because they were coming off a 40-40 tie. They kind of screwed themselves late in the game.
Just how you draw it up, baby. Just how you draw it up.
Yeah. But this team is, I don't know, every week it seems, no matter who the opponent is, they play with their food in the first half. They did it tonight. They had a lot of, luckily no turnovers and no major mistakes, but a lot of 3-and-outs in the first half. And then this is the thing that's really frustrating me. You have a guy in Lucas Harvisic, I think is how you say his name. I haven't figured out how to say it yet because last week he makes the franchise record field goal and then gets reverted back to the practice squad. So he's only played 1 game. I haven't figured out how to say his name correctly yet. McManus comes back. He misses 2 field goals in the first half. They go into the half losing 16-7. It looks like it's going to be a Rodgers revenge game. It's going to be the narrative. But then the team locks in the second half. Love looks awesome. Tucker Kraft on National Tight Ends Day he's been great all season, but this was the best game of his career by far. He's a yak demon at this point. I don't know why I said that. But, I was thinking run after catch, yards after catch, same thing. But yeah, and then Jacobs as well with the touchdown that was set up by Christian Watson back in the lineup. Big catch for him. So Micah had a nice sack as well, beating like a triple team. So second half went as according to plan for the Packers, but what I kind of said this last time, but it was in a more negative tone. I'm taking a more positive tone, but it's really the same message. This team's good, but they're not. What I'm seeing right now is a team that can't play for 4 quarters, and in the playoffs, that's not going to cut it. So they have half a season here and some divisional games coming up that they can maybe try to, improve upon that, but I think Love was great tonight. I think he's been really solid all year, but across the board, they're going to need to be better when it comes to January. They can't play like this in January.
Yeah, couldn't agree more. You got to watch out next week, though. Panthers. Meow Mix podcast. Chris
Adam.
knows. It didn't work out today, but maybe it's because Bryce Young didn't play. Bryce Young's the key to the Meow
Maybe
Mix podcast.
they both have to be connected there. And real
Yes.
quick about the Packers too. I mean, Jaden Reed was out after I think he played 2 weeks. Then he's been
Only
gone.
Only
He
one
played
week.
1 week,
Mhm.
and then I think got injured then week 2, I guess. But he's been gone. Now it's like, all right, now we're back to the Packers that have a bunch of good receivers. And you saw it like today. Not that Christian Watson's this amazing receiver, but he comes up with some big plays. And like you said, his catch right in front of the end zone set up the Jacobs touch, and that kind of swung the game the other way. That's the kind of stuff they see. Then Matthew Golden now looks like, a fun rookie that you're not relying on the way that you were. So I think that helps them. And Jacobs did get bottled up for most of this game. He did get the touchdown, but they did stop him. But then Jordan Love became ultra efficient, was completing a ton of passes in a row, then kind of kicked it up. So good game by the Packers. The Steelers defense, you look and they still have TJ Watt, but they're not nearly the same that they were. It's kind of been talked about all year. I just don't really know what to make of them because I feels like they can either go all out to stop the run or the pass, but then the other team has the ability to do one thing.
Do you want to be honest? They signed and traded for a bunch of washed up has-beens.
Yeah.
That's what they did. That's what
Ramsey
they did.
looks good. It's not even like Ramsey's bad. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like
he looks good. What
playing
did you
with
do last
Flacco.
Thursday night, dude? Like Joe
There
Flacco
was-
threw for nearly 400 yards.
that was not his best game.
I think Ramsey's been really good. I mean, he made a big play at the line of scrimmage tonight, but he's kind of excelling just as like a nickelback. He's not, making up
he
for
makes
their
an
terrible
occasional
pass
play.
defense.
Yeah, no, but I think it's not even like he's been to blame overall. It's not like a Rams watch. It's like it's been a bunch of things overall. And you see like they're kind of more top heavy than we noticed. But I don't know what the Packers are going to do because now the Bengals lost to the Jets, which was a huge blessing for them. But now the Ravens, they win with
You mean the Steelers.
Adam, don't give
Yeah, you mean the Steelers. You said what the Packers are going to do, and
I
then
don't
you
know
started
what
talking about
Packers
the
gonna do
Bengals.
either,
I'm sorry. You made it
I was
weird
like,
like
oh
that.
boy.
The Packers, not the Packers, the Steelers. The
Yeah.
Steelers had this division kind of this huge lead. They lose to the Bengals. That gives the Bengals a chance back in. Then the Bengals and Flacco coming off this magical win, lose to the Jets. And then the Ravens with Huntley beat, who do they beat today?
They beat the Bears.
The Bears. And then now it's like,
That's-
who knows who's going to win that division? I don't really know.
Mhm.
Yep, the Ravens are going to have a huge fine coming, by the way. Just to let everyone know, with what they did with Lamar this week is borderline criminal, saying he's a full participant in practice. A bunch of money comes in on the Ravens for this weekend. And then next thing you know, on Saturday, he retroactively went from full participant to limited in practice on Friday, and he doesn't play.
Yeah.
So,
Can
very
I read
interesting.
you guys the Ravens' schedule as they get a big win today? Next week, they're
Dolphins, Thursday night.
Dolphins on Thursday night. Then they're against Minnesota, who doesn't seem like they have
J.J. McCarthy
they
might
don't have
be
a
coming
quarterback.
back.
They kept playing Carson Wentz over him this week. Browns, Jets, Bengals, and then the Steelers on December 7th. So there's a world where if Lamar's healthy, they can make a run here, even with that terrible defense.
Well, I'll talk to the Ravens more later. I was a little offended that Chris said one of the best games of the day, and was talking about it, and didn't really mention Bengals Jets earlier because 39-38. He's been very critical of a guy on this podcast by the name of Justin Fields. The Bengals scored more than 21 points today, and the Jets won. Just saying.
That's the first time in his career that's happened.
Yeah.
Yeah,
that?
cool.
That's the
It
first
happened.
time.
Also,
It happened.
You can't yell at me for a true statistic that he
Also,
finally broke.
He had a
after
big
years in
2-point
the league.
conversion to
Game on
make
the
it a
line.
6-point game.
Okay,
Game on the
listen.
line. Brees Hall threw
Brees
the
Hall
game-winning
touchdown.
touchdown.
Day,
That's
right.
what I was about to say. The offense looked the best with Brees Hall at quarterback.
That's not true at all. It was a toss play.
No, it worked. It worked.
Yes,
Listen,
it did work, but it
I
still
told
looked
you
good without
100
him.
times. I like Justin Fields. I just had to give up on him this year when they're 0-6.
He's
I
terrible.
think that's fine. I
He
think
threw
that
for
was fine to do.
244 yards today. That's pretty good.
Adam, you can't take a victory lap on Fields. You've never defended him, saying he's going to be great.
No,
What
but
I said
would
was-
what I would have defended him for is you should have known he was playing in the state of Ohio. That dude cooks in Ohio. I watched him do it for 2 years in college. So there you go.
The game was in Cincinnati today.
yeah.
I didn't know that. I guess I'm not like Sketchboard. I don't know where every single game is played.
See,
So
some people watch the games, and some people say they watch Red Zone and then don't even pay attention and know where the games are. Huh,
the
interesting.
1:00 games today, honestly, almost put me to sleep.
It
I
was
was not a
rough.
fan.
Yeah,
It was
39-38 puts you to sleep. But it's
That
just-
was one of those games though. It wasn't riveting the whole time. It was just
The
about
Bengals
the end.
were
I'm
up.
like, I was like,
Yeah.
oh my god, wait, the Jets are actually coming back. And then
I was focused in. I was with some guys who had T. Higgins over receiving yards, and he had a 44-yard touchdown, and that's the only catch he had the entire game, and he only had 2 targets. It was very fun to watch.
Adam, you degenerate gambler.
I didn't gamble. I was just with guys
I
who
was
gambled.
making a joke.
I don't
I mean,
gamble like some people on the show, Chris.
Listen, at the 1 o'clock game, so I was at a setup where I actually had Red Zone on a TV. Usually I'm just watching on a laptop or phone, but today I was at my mom's where we actually have the TV. The Giants game was on there. I had Red Zone on my phone. The Giants game. I mean, when you watch with a Giants fan, you see like when you have hope again, and then it's destroyed. It was really sad to watch. And the Eagles Giants game was one of the worst officiated games I've seen.
Mm-hmm.
The tush push is getting banned officially because the Eagles have found every single way to piss everyone off by doing it.
Whoa!
No,
If I can't swear, you can't swear. I don't want to hear it. I had to censor one of mine out,
Piss
buddy.
isn't a swear
So-
word, Adam.
Well, yeah,
What
he
did I
made me.
say?
You said pissed.
Piss isn't a swear word.
That's
I
not
know
the
that one.
same.
As ass? What are we talking about? Mine's in the Bible. Is yours? Huh? There we go.
Mine is something my dog does outside. Yours is
Mine's something your dog has.
Yeah, it's
There
true,
you go.
but
You
there's some things in my dog. Anyways,
want me to keep going?
I was about to make an Andy Dalton reference, if you know what I mean. But
The Red
anyways,
Rocket.
yep. What I was saying, the Eagles are getting the tush push banned. They
Yes.
officially found a way to make everyone annoyed at the play. The false starts this year have been bad. And then now, Jalen Hurts is reaching out with the ball, and the Giants rip it out of his hands. And then the refs were like, forward progress was stopped. We blew the whistle. And I'm like, there was no whistle blown. There was no whistle blown in that play till after the fact. Then they got together and said, yeah, he was stopped. But he's reaching with the ball, so the forward progress and stopped the ball still moving forward. They ripped it out of his hand, but they can't see the play. It's so annoying. So instead of getting a stop and the ball, the Eagles go down, they score another touchdown. Saquon scores his second of the game, and then it goes from a tied game to the Eagles up another score to 14. And then the Giants are fighting back. Scadaboo's ankle got completely separated from the rest of his body. It was disgusting. And I thought Cam Scadaboo was going to get injured this year by running headfirst into 5 guys. Like, that was the logical thing. My Jackson Dart Cam Scadaboo connection, or what's it called? Adam, what's the word? Oh, no. My Jackson Dart Cam Scadaboo analogy is the guys from the other guys, the Rock and Samuel L. Jackson, the 2 guys that jump off the building because they think they're invincible, and they just, like, go headfirst into things. That's who I thought they were. And then Cam Scadaboo suffers this random freak injury. And right there, I was like, all right, Dart looks like his brother just got, like, taken in war. Like, it was so sad. And then, like, the Giants are done. The Giants are done for the day.
He actually might be okay. He only
Adam,
dislocated his ankle. It's only dislocated. He didn't break it.
I don't think that's what they said initially, was that it was dislocated.
He's
I
getting
am sure
surgery.
things are broken.
Yeah, he'll get surgery, but I mean, it's not like he tore his Achilles and broke his leg, and
Well,
he's
But
like,
Well, for
Yeah,
next
we
year, I
saw
think he'll
that.
be fine. But
yeah,
I
but
don't-
he'll be
I don't
fine.
think-
This isn't career ending. This
I know,
isn't
but
career.
season
Yeah.
ending, they actually had a fun season going. And then
Yeah.
look at him. Like, look at Chris Godwin. Like, it's dislocated, but there's also stuff messed
Yeah,
up.
but now they might get a good receiver in the draft. So how about
But then
that?
also at the end of then later in the Giants game, they had this huge touchdown to Darius Slayton, and they called an offensive pass interference, and then they show the replay. And at first I thought he might have pushed off. In the replay, it's like they're kind of fighting, and the moment one guy goes like this, the defense is like, whoa! And like they do the whole flop thing. I'm like, all right, well, the Eagles got every call. Really pissed me off. I hate them. The tush push today made me more mad than ever, because like the false start is like one thing. But when I saw the Giants rip the ball out of the hands, I'm like, someone finally stopped the tush push. And then they're like, well, we don't really know. We're just going to give the Eagles the first down. And then they score. I hate it. I hate it.
I just think
Stupid.
it's
So dumb.
funny how different you and I watch Eagles games.
I know. I like watching the Eagles
Yeah.
play. I think it's a lot of fun.
My takeaways from the Eagles game today were they got the run game going, even after Saquon got hurt, and Hurts once again looked awesome. And without
Yeah.
A.J. Brown, they were able to pass the ball. That were my
Uh-huh.
takeaways from the Eagles
Yeah,
win.
I thought they played great today. I thought
The first year that they were great and they made the Super Bowl but lost, loved watching the Eagles. Last year, I liked watching the Eagles. The issue this year was they're playing like the stupid Chiefs were. That was my problem with them. It was like they're just trying to not lose, which I hate. This was one of their best offensive games, but the tush push made me so mad.
one play in the second quarter just made it unwatchable for him, Joe.
It really
One
did.
play.
'Cause the whole game I'm watching it thinking the Eagles should have 7 less points. That's in my thought the whole time.
The only unwatchable part was the Scadaboo injury for me.
I,
Can't
I
lie.
I watched the whole
But
thing. I thought it was fun. Mac
but
was. I was
he
watching with
wasn't
you.
like he
Okay.
didn't seem in pain. He was like, yeah, my leg, and then they showed it. I'm like, and he was just
And
like getting card off, and he didn't
Mhm.
look sad. He wasn't crying.
no,
I'm like, I
if
would
it is just
black out.
dislocated, sometimes it doesn't hurt as much. It's kind of just
I
out of
just
place, and you just got to get it back in. So
the visual appearance of it was so disgusting.
yeah.
Mhm.
Now, I did think you overreact. You said that's one of the worst injuries I've ever seen. I've seen a lot worse. I saw
The look of it,
a
like
bone pop out of a man's body.
that was number
I
one in
saw
my head.
it.
I was gonna text you that was number one, but then I got too annoyed at Sketch.
Plus, Gordon
so I
Hayward
not.
did it, but it was his whole leg instead of just his foot. So
Mhm.
Oh, I remember that now. Yeah,
season
but like
open.
this was one where like when they showed it, I was like, ugh, I literally could not look.
Well,
That
because
was
they
like,
didn't even know. They didn't even know. Like you couldn't really tell at first, and then it was like, oh.
Yeah.
Then everyone started
Yeah.
reacting. It was like, oh.
yeah. Adam,
Yeah.
I'm gonna
Oh.
dislocate your ankle. And you're gonna be like, it doesn't hurt that bad, it's just dislocated.
Well, I said sometimes it doesn't hurt as bad. That's why I
Yeah,
don't
I'm like,
think
oh yeah, Adam, it
Plus, he's
doesn't
a
hurt,
tough
it's
guy.
just dislocated.
Plus,
It's just dangling to the
It
side.
would not be on brand if Cam Scadaboo was in a lot of pain and crying. That's not on
I know,
brand
but
for
like
him.
I would have assumed it hurt more than it
I
did.
think it did, but he hides that stuff. He's a
Tough
big
guy.
boy. He's from Arizona State. Put some alcohol on it, and he's good to go. That's what they do over there. No, I thought the Eagles played great today. I thought it's great. Chris, you should keep giving them motivation. You should probably cut that up as a short, too. You didn't have for Saquon, and he
I
went for a
will. I'm
buck
gonna cut
50
out the
today.
stupid tush push because last time they did the tush push thing that should have gotten banned. I said I'm not making a short because we made too many about the stupid Eagles. This one pissed me off so much. I literally was like, all right,
but-
I will do that.
You said Saquon was washed, and he went for a buck 50 today. So how about that?
Honestly, I'm happy about Saquon doing well. I want him to do well. And guess
Hank
what?
Bigsby ran for 100 yards today, too.
Honestly, that was good for Matt Mueller. That just,
Yeah, now you
it was
shout
fucking
out on the
terrible.
pod.
Gino and Tank Bigsby for 2 seconds.
I'll send him the pod to listen to
No,
that.
I thought the Eagles were awesome today. Jalen Hurts passer rating 141.5 today. It was perfect last week and nearly perfect this week. So, no, the Eagles playing really well. And they go into the bye, good time. Saquon aggravated a groin injury, so he should be back by the time they go play Joe's Packers in 2 weeks. So
I was thinking about going to that game, and then I realized how much NFL tickets are. It's not like the Sixers games, so maybe
no,
another
it is
year.
not. It is not like the Sixers game.
Maybe when I'm 30 years in the workforce, I'll be able to go to Lambeau.
And then there's only one other game I truly want to touch on because we haven't even talked about it yet. The Dolphins beat the Falcons 34-10 today.
Yes, they did.
Mike McDaniel saves his job for at least another week. And
This keeps happening. Just end it, man.
yeah, but now, at this point, why not? Just let's let it ride. Maybe they figured it out because I don't want to talk about anything other than the fact that Bijan Robinson couldn't do anything in this game.
Mhm.
Like everybody runs on the Dolphins, and Bijan couldn't. I don't know. Maybe they did what the Ravens did. They took all the toys out of the locker room. I don't know, but that run defense, the Dolphins look like a football team this week.
Here's my guess: is that Kirk Cousins was the quarterback, not Michael Penix, and Drake London was out right before the game. They determined that. So I'm guessing the Dolphins said, "Throw the ball. We're just gonna go all out to stop the run." I did not watch much of this game besides Red Zone, and there was no moment where the Falcons had anything, so I barely saw them on offense. I'm just guessing at this point. That was a terrible performance. Bijan really let me down because he had all this hype from the last few weeks. It was all like maybe the most confident I felt in him in this matchup, especially. And then he put up a dud, and then the Dolphins threw all over the Falcons, who thought they were getting their defense back together. Doesn't look like it anymore.
No.
Well, the Falcons have a ton of injuries. Like, I mean, you mentioned London and Penix being out, but they got like some of their best defensive players. The rookie Bowman, Diablo's out for the year now, so their defense was already struggling, and now they're missing like key guys. So I don't know if they're going to be able to build on that Buffalo win.
Yeah, but to get kind of little gambling things, you had to go to over 150 total yards to get plus money for Bijan today, and he didn't get above like 50.
Yeah.
That's crazy. It's just
I'll name someone who had some Bijan touchdown score bets. He wants to remain anonymous, but he was like all in on Bijan, put in like 3 parlays, and none of them had ruined all of them.
was he wearing a black sweatshirt today?
Is he wearing a
No
Penn
comment.
State line?
No comment.
Is
He might have done Jonathan Taylor 2+ touchdowns with Bijan to score a touchdown, and it was looking phenomenal.
Well, I guess it was never actually looking phenomenal because Jonathan Taylor didn't start till after Bijan
Adam,
Robinson's
that's
game
not the
finished.
point. My
But
God.
Colts got another good win today. Good transition, Chris. 38-14.
I love the Colts.
They beat the Titans, so I mean, does it really count? Does everyone asks that every week when you beat the Titans. Daniel Jones looked good, 21-29, 272. Of course, Jonathan Taylor played great. Tyler Warren, 4 catches, 50 yards. I always like to talk about him as a Penn State guy. Michael Pittman was good today. Josh Downs was good today.
Yeah,
Everyone's
crazy
good.
catch.
Mm-hmm.
Alec Pierce had that catch too. He literally defensive pass interference, and he's just like, wait, like the culture right now of every single player just stepping up and making plays, and it's every week. And like, I know it's the Titans, but they're still playing really well. They haven't had a game where they really let their foot off the gas. It's always just been like the Colts taking care of business. And it's Daniel Jones at quarterback. Like, now I look at Daniel Jones at quarterback and I like smile. But there used to be a time where I would like want to turn the TV off. The 180 on him is insane. I love the Colts. I'm really all in on this team. I might be picking them in the playoffs. I don't know what team I actually think is better than them in the AFC because I could talk myself into the Colts beating anyone right now.
There's a team that's definitely better than them, but that's besides the point. So, I mean,
But beside the Chiefs, and you could just
Yes.
say Mahomes.
It's got to
Yes.
end at some point, man. It's football. They can't keep
I'll tell you
getting
now.
it.
I'll tell you now. I
Keep
said the
getting it.
Colts were the 2024 Saints. I was wrong, but there's a team that started 7-1 last year and had a great start with this journeyman quarterback who came in and started off to a great start. So,
Minnesota?
yep.
Yeah.
And we'll see how it ends for them. I mean,
Yeah.
there's no one in the division they're not gonna have a huge game where it's 15-2 versus 14-3
that
at the end of
that
the
was
year.
crazy.
So they're gonna get home field in the playoffs.
I think
probably,
though, with the
but-
culture doing well, like the only thing that seems actually fluky is Daniel Jones, but it's
I don't
not
think-
that
go
fluky
ahead.
because he's getting the ball to guys who are open though. It's not like
Yeah.
it's not like Daniel Jones is playing amazing. It's he's doing a simple task, but there's so many options because there are a lot of really good options on the Colts. Jonathan Taylor, Tyler Warren, Michael Pittman, all those guys are great.
Mhm.
Yeah, I
they
don't
got
think it's
weapons.
fluky. I don't think it's fluky. I just
I don't
think
think it's fluky.
I
Either.
think it's Steichen's system. It's worked for everybody besides Richardson. You throw in the mobility that Jones has that a guy like Minshew didn't. I think you're seeing why it's working. I mean, even the last 2 years, people were down on the Colts. They were 9-8 and 8-9.
Yeah.
So the upgrades they've made, I think it makes sense.
They also have a scheduled loss on December 7th. So
To the Jacksonville.
they never win in Jacksonville.
I know.
They've
I
like
know.
Carson Wentz went in there and Jags had no wins and beat them one year. Like
Yeah.
they
Yeah.
never win in Jacksonville. That's
Joe,
just
I
what
don't know
happens.
if you remember this, but before the season, I texted you because I picked Jonathan Taylor in our league, and I was like, someone was saying that the Colts are going to have like a terrible offense, and I was like, Joe, I'm like the Dolphins, not the Dolphins, the Colts always have a terrible offense. Like, if anything, this will be more of the same. And you're like, no, they were actually decent. Blah blah blah.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Turns out he's going to the best offense. This is the best offense in the league. Who would have thought? And I'm
Yeah.
like
I told you.
pretending like I knew that was going to happen. I was expecting him to be like, okay, offense, good, great player, and instead it's like great player, great offense. So I love
Gotta
it.
stay healthy though. Gotta stay
I think
healthy.
Taylor. I just want to say real quick. We don't need to go too deep on this, but I think he should be the MVP at this point in the season. That's where I'm at. with it.
If position players were allowed to win it, absolutely.
Right, exactly.
But they're not allowed to win it, so
I know.
he's not
I
going to
know.
win it.
I posted
So there
a
you
reel
go.
about that today. I was like, they're not going to give it to him because they only give it to
He'll
quarterback.
be offensive player of the year unanimously.
That
But,
stupid
I mean,
award. That
If there
stupid
was
award.
ever a year for that, it was 2 years ago. McCaffrey had one of the best seasons I've seen, and there was no great quarterback that year. Like, statistically, none of them are great. It was Lamar won it, but like that was
Yeah.
one of Lamar's worst seasons too, which is kind of the funny thing of like of all years Lamar to win it. I was like, all right, McCaffrey came into the Niners. They literally went to the Super Bowl, but like even before they went to the Super Bowl, we were saying he should have been MVP. Like clearly had the biggest impact, and then he doesn't win it. So it's Lamar. And then like the next year, Josh was great, whatever. That's why Saquon didn't win it, which I'm fine with when there's a great quarterback. This year, I mean, Mahomes, I guess, is in the lead, but like Mahomes hasn't really been like carrying a team or like really leading them the way Taylor has.
Yeah, I agree. I don't think Mahomes. I would not pick him right now.
I think he's
I would
a
maybe
favorite, though.
have.
he is the favorite, yeah.
I think Mahomes over the past 2 weeks has looked really great, but I also think their defense has been lights out.
Yeah.
Honestly,
Mahomes
if I
does
had-
lead the league in total yards, I think, going
Mahomes,
into this
does he
week.
really?
So, yeah.
I don't know.
Became a runner
I
again.
guess they. I
He's a
guess they
runner.
were
He's a
winning
runner.
games. I guess they were winning games with like before Rice got back with a an assortment of random receivers.
Mhm.
But I don't know, man. I'll give
Well,
it to
if
him.
there's a sneaky quarterback, Drake May
Yeah.
has one of the easiest
Yep.
schedules remaining, and every single week he's just going out there chucking 4 touchdowns and going deep.
He's
And
a stud.
he was getting killed by Myles Garrett today. Like, he was genuinely getting killed. And yet his team was still scoring every single time, every drive. So
Myles Garrett might have solidified Defensive Player of the Year.
probably did.
5
And
sacks in a game. That's gonna help.
and I love that they took him out on defense and he like smashed his helmet down. Like, what are we doing? Like, why am I coming out of a game?
Can
Just
we
wanted to acknowledge that was a stupid
Can we
decision
talk
by the
about
Browns.
this? No, I don't want to hear it being stupid because they were getting blown out. But Myles Garrett did this whole thing this offseason about how I want to win and I want traded. Then they gave him money and it seemed to go away, and now he seems upset they're not winning.
No,
so
Adam,
it's
you
like
forgot a crucial detail. Myles Garrett met with the team and they told them their plan for winning. They said, Myles,
Dylan Gabriel's
we're
their
going to
plan
draft
for winning.
Dylan Gabriel and Shedeur, and one of them will lead this team to a Super Bowl this
Well,
year.
sure,
And he
wasn't
was
even
like,
active today. I was upset.
Who was the backup? Oh, Zappy.
Zapples. They should have put Zapples in. Revenge game. They might have won.
And it's really tough with Dylan Gabriel because he's not terrible to the point where you have to immediately move off of him.
He's a good backup.
Yeah, I thought I've been impressed with him for like what I expected out of him.
He's a good backup. He'll be a good backup.
You're not watching him being like, this guy could legitimately like win you any real playoff game. So it's like, what do you do with him? Because he's still young. You want to try to like give him a run, but you're like, he's not the guy. So I just don't know what they're going to do.
I think they should keep him though. I look at a guy like Davis Mills, who was a starter.
He's gonna be a good backup. Yeah, when they finally get their quarterback. Yeah.
I know,
but you keep playing him, and then you get a good draft pick, and you probably end up drafting Caleb Downs from Ohio State, because of course the issue with the Browns is defense. So they're just gonna draft another defender.
Grant Delpit and Caleb Downs.
I mean, their defense looks good. I mean, they were able to throw on them.
Chris can't sense sarcasm, can he?
I know you're saying they actually have a good defense. I understood the joke, Adam. This time,
good. You understood a joke today. That's
I was just building off of it, saying like, and I was saying like today. I know they technically let up a lot of points, but they're still really good defense. Was adding God.
Yeah, I thought
Getting
again.
teamed up against
if
everywhere.
Judkins
The
is hurt
Nico
bad though,
Truther Club has been terrible to me today. I feel like Nico
I barely
Harris.
talked. I was
Adam,
busy.
you barely talk, and it's always against me, and it's always like a few hours late. Like I finally calmed down from it.
I come in one
and
thing
Adam's
just to
like,
get him back
I think
going.
Chris is wrong, and then just like does.
Then
that.
I leave again.
Yeah.
I just try to get him going.
You know, I literally, you know when I started playing? I started playing Backyard Baseball in 2001 on my phone. They made that on the phone. I didn't realize it was on the phone now. I got to use that to calm down. It was really upsetting.
But last game, Broncos-Cowboys. Broncos looked great from start to finish. How about that? The Broncos in their last 5 quarters of football have scored 77 points. That's a good number.
The Broncos, fine, whatever. The Cowboys really upset me. I was expecting a lot more from them. I love watching that team play. Dak had one of his worst games. Like one of the picks, especially in the beginning, was just bad.
The one to Jake Ferguson was bad, where he overthrew him over the middle of the field.
Yeah. Like, at the end of the game, when you're forcing stuff, I get it. But in the beginning of the game, he just, like, inexplicably threw the ball. And then Ferguson's been one of their best options. They don't use him on National Tight Ends Day, which just as the principles mean. It's just like, oh, it's your birthday? You're not getting the ball. Like, it's so rude.
Pat Surtain did he barely played. He got hurt in the first drive, then he came back in and got hurt again. So
no, that really annoyed me. The Cowboys let me down, and you talked me into picking them for weekly picks.
I barely talked you into it this week.
No,
Dallas to beat Denver. What are you doing?
No, he did. I didn't. I picked Denver.
The week before I picked Dallas to beat.
The week before I talked him into taking the
Carolina,
Cowboys over Washington.
Oh,
I picked him over Washington.
Okay.
And
I actually picked Dallas in that game too.
Yeah.
I
But,
picked
my
Dallas.
my dad's going through it with the Cowboys defense. So
They're bad.
they're
You know,
really
every time I watch them, I'm like, man, if only they had an elite defensive player on
Well,
their
did you
team.
see the reports that they're trying to trade for Trey Hendrickson?
Yeah.
That's hilarious.
Well, hey, I'm not going to get into that, but there
If
is
Kenny
a difference.
Clark is being asked, they will turn that down.
No, but I'm just saying there is a difference between Trey Hendrickson and Michael Parsons.
Well,
That's
yeah,
all I'm
Mike
saying.
is better, but Trey's really good though.
Good. We'll just move
Oh,
on.
I see.
I
what you're
don't want to
saying. I do see what you're
elaborate, so
saying.
I don't
see
want to
you.
elaborate.
I got you.
Everything's
Jerry
going over
Jones.
my head today. Let's just move on.
Jerry Jones. Okay, now
I got you,
we'll
Adam.
now we'll
I
move
think
on.
I know what you're saying, but I'm afraid after the
No,
80
we're not going to
comments from
elaborate
last
on it.
week.
Winner and loser of the week. Winner and loser of the week. So let's. Chris, you want to start here? You want to go first for your winner?
Sure.
All right.
My winner today are the Packers. Aaron Rodgers leaves, and it's like he's saying it's not like a revenge game, but like you also know there's history there. You really want to win the game, and more so for the Packers, they haven't really, had a great win since like week 2. It feels like everything else has kind of been like winning if they win, but like they don't totally knock someone out. They really had a great second half against the Steelers. Punched them in the mouth in the second half. Was great. Rodgers kind of fell apart by the end. The Steelers' offense kind of fell apart. So they're my winner. A big primetime win, looking more like the first 2 weeks Packers that we saw. My loser, the Falcons. You had Bijan Robinson against the Dolphins defense, and you did nothing. And I know Penix was hurt. I didn't think Kirk Cousins would be like this huge downgrade. So like I still thought the Falcons would win, and they were terrible. So they're my loser.
Joe, go ahead.
Winner of the week. I'm gonna go in a different sport here. How about BJ Edgecombe breaking Allen Iverson's NBA debut record? He breaks LeBron's. What record did he break of LeBron's? Like most points in a half or something as in a rookie debut. 34 points for him. Then I think he had 15 and 8 in the Charlotte game. What a great pick for the Sixers. This has totally reinvigorated them. The fan base is feeling a lot better right now. Can't wait to see what he does. And my loser, getting back to the NFL here. We didn't talk about this game, but the 49ers were really bad today, and I've kind of been – I already don't really like them because of the rivalry they've had with Green Bay for so long, but also they've had a ton of defensive injuries and offensive injuries, really injuries everywhere like they always do. Last week, they played really well against Atlanta. They were running the ball really well. Today, the run game was gone again. Houston, they couldn't get Houston's offense off the field in the first half, and this is a Texans team that hasn't been able to block or run the ball very well. And I think Chubb and Marks had to combine almost 30 carries in this game. So, I don't know. I've heard some people saying Niners are a playoff team. They're good enough. I just think the injuries, plus I was already worried about the defense before they lost Bosa and Warner. I don't think this is a playoff team. I think Seattle and the Rams are much better. I would say that was my biggest loser of the week besides Atlanta, as Chris said.
I think they'll end up making the playoffs just because of where they are now. Mathematically, I think they'll just end up making.
Think about
Their schedule's easy. Their schedule is easy.
Yeah, I don't know, but
and they already have a winner for Seattle. They've already beat Seattle once.
Yeah, I think Seattle.
And they already beat the Rams once.
They did.
And they already beat the Rams once. So they've already got 2 wins in the division. So
I mean, they played beat the Niners.
Better.
What?
The Cardinals?
Yeah, they did. They beat them 16-14 or something
I
like that.
would just go wild card wise. I would lean Green Bay, Seattle, or the Rams. And then, I guess maybe they could get the
just mathematically
over the Bears. Maybe they could get
the
the
NFC East and the
Bears.
NFC South are just horrible.
Yeah,
they're gonna have no wild card teams. So.
So I said just mathematically
at least one, maybe two.
Yeah, it's either the Bears or the Niners. Okay.
Yeah, I think they'll be kind of like they'll be like the Steelers were with Trubisky in them that one year, where it was like they're in, they're not gonna win, they're in.
Sure. Okay.
But yeah. Do want to correct you a little bit because this always makes me upset. VJ Edgecombe broke the non-Wilt record because Wilt scored 43 in his debut with 28 rebounds. So
that's not what the Sixers broadcast said.
Well, because every record doesn't count. Like the scoring record, they'll say Kobe Bryant's 81.
I don't know if the Sixers broadcast is known for being objective and correct and more about sensationalizing the
not the game. No. I meant Sixers debut.
Yeah, no. Wilt Chamberlain. Well, I guess if they're going to consider it Warriors instead of Sixers.
Yeah.
But he played in Philadelphia. Okay,
but that's the
Philadelphia.
Yeah,
okay,
he was in Philly. You're right.
Okay,
but it is the Warriors franchise.
I guess the Warriors get the records just like the Browns get the records, even though the Browns franchise is the Ravens, and that makes no sense, but okay.
Where do you stand on that? You're saying if your team is from this location,
I think
it stays with location.
When you think of Wilt Chamberlain, do you think of the 76ers or the Golden State Warriors?
Well, honestly, Lakers, to be honest, because I
meant like, but if you would think of those two franchises, who you think of with Wilt Chamberlain? Exactly.
But because he played for the Sixers later.
Yeah, but they were the Philadelphia Warriors. They moved. They put an expansion team in Philadelphia, and Wilt then moved.
Edgecombe's record, Adam. He has the Sixers franchise record.
Wilt never played a game in Golden State, so like, why does he?
Adam,
I thought they moved to Golden State. He immediately said, "I'm not going, or I'll retire," and then they just sent him to Philadelphia.
I don't know.
New team.
But
Adam,
I don't know all the Wilt.
How do you feel about like the New York Giants and the Brooklyn Dodgers, and then the Mets? Are the Mets their own thing, or
the Mets are because they're because they're not Brooklyn. I guess they could be the Giants.
Yeah, I'm saying that, but no one would ever think the New York Giants became the New York Mets.
Yeah, but I also don't
consider... Why is that one different? Why are the San Francisco Giants...
I consider the Warriors their own, like, when they moved, they were an expansion team. Like, I would say Rick Barry's would be in the same lineage of the Philadelphia Warriors, just like the Syracuse Nationals moved and like the Braves and all that. Like the NBA is just too weird.
Well, the Syracuse
They've
Nationals,
When
the
you say
team, the Sixers.
Dodgers,
I know,
I
but
think
they just have so many teams. It's just like they've had so many expansion teams. They started with 8 and they just
Chris,
kept
this
going.
is
I
like-
kind of feel like the name of the team is more important than the actual
Yeah,
location.
I agree with Chris.
Okay, fine. Wilt's got the Warriors record.
Yeah.
DJ Edgecombe, congratulations.
That's right.
When Jared McCain
That's
comes
right.
back and everyone's scoring on you guys with Paul George and Joel Embiid.
Because
All right.
you're
Oh my
keeping the team, though. You know what I mean?
Fine,
Like,
fine.
the Mets
I get it.
formed, but they didn't keep the New York Giants roster. You know what I mean? They had
I
a
get it.
form
I
their
get
own
it.
team.
I get it. I
Don't
get
take
it. I'm
VJ's record, man. That's
okay.
crazy.
I'm
That's
just a little-
crazy.
I am concerned about the Sixers when Jared McCain comes back and it's
Why?
your entire front line 6'4" shorter. But that's just-
He's a bench player.
okay, yeah, but Jared McCain's gonna play what 28 minutes a night.
Maybe. Not if VJ and Maxey are healthy.
I mean, I
Hell of
think
a TikToker, though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, Jared McCain played well last year. Give up on him after 1 year. It just is a little concerning.
We have 2 All-NBA potential
Yeah.
guys in the future.
Yeah,
I'll do it.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see. My one of the week, the Ravens. Pretty clear.
Yeah.
It's the Ravens. They win without Lamar Jackson, which is huge. And then also all the other teams in the division lost. They mathematically control their own destiny to the playoffs. People don't realize that because they play the Steelers twice, they play the Bengals twice. Win all 4 of those games, and you're fine. So there you go. Ravens are the winner of the week. Loser of the week, I'll go with Chris. It's the Falcons. It's not just because you lose to the Dolphins. It's also the fact that what the Bucs did. They won again, so you just keep falling back in that division. You're not going to be a wild card team. So yeah, the Falcons, biggest loser of the week. All right, Chris, you want to move quickly today because you were a little concerned. So we'll go straight into the pain and panic of the week, unless you have anything else you want to talk about.
No, we're good.
How you get your lightning lane pass yet?
Wait, real fast.
Doing
I
that
want to
right
ask.
now.
Can I ask Adam how you feeling? Game 3 tomorrow.
Game 3, I feel great. I feel great.
I think you should.
Glasnow versus Scherzer. Dodgers are weak. Dodgers are afraid. Should have put Kershaw out there. Bums. Bums. Yeah, 40 versus 40 on Monday night. Nah, too bad. Yeah, boring. No, I feel good. They lost game 1 and 2 in 93 and won the World Series. So that's
There,
the
it's 1-1.
that's the path. There's a path, but they got it. I mean, they showed the game plan in game 1. You got to get to the bullpen. That's the game plan. You can't let Yamamoto go a complete game. Surprisingly, through 2 games, Sasaki hasn't even pitched yet, which means he has not pitched since game 4 of the NLCS. So it's been a long time since Sasaki's been on the mound. So that'll be interesting to see when he finally gets out there. But yeah, I like where the Blue Jays are at. The game plan's pretty clear. If you allow the starter to go like they did with Yamamoto, you're not going to win. If you do what you did against Snell, you'll be all right.
That's right.
Yay,
Get
baseball.
Jeff Hoffman his World Series ring.
Yeah, Jeff Hoffman hasn't pitched yet either.
Right.
All right, I'm tired of waiting. I can't wait anymore. Adam, please tell me.
Oh,
of the
my
week. I'm
pain
sorry.
of the
I hate to
week.
interrupt you guys, but I've been stressing all episode. We're gonna do
Okay.
pain of the week, Adam.
So
Okay,
my pain,
Adam, explain your pain of the week.
my pain of the week is Chris Reynolds. He is my pain of the week, and there's a reason for this. So Chris, we bravely come on here and we state our opinions. A couple weeks ago, we had top 5 tight ends. Chris, I think rightfully put Jake Ferguson in that list.
Oh,
Had him as a top 3 tight end in the league.
by
And
top
then
3, you mean 3.
yes, he was 3.
So he's not 2 or 1. There's a difference between top 3.
Top 3 is
and
top
5.
3. He is top 3. I did not
Okay,
lie
but
in my
like he's
statement.
not. He's clearly not 1 or 2. But continue.
See, now he won't even let me finish my statements. This is what we do, Joe.
I'm clarifying
because
because you're
interrupting.
You're gonna express it in a way that's
But
worse.
hit him as number 3 tight end in the league.
Yeah.
On National Tight End Day, Chris, you, me, and Joe had the same amount of catches and same amount of yards as Jake Ferguson. Great cardio day for Jake Ferguson. Sir, he was blocking like crazy. But it was not a good day for Jake Ferguson. And then, I mean, you'd think that, having the number 3 tight end, if he doesn't play well, you say, quarterback's not that good, man. Quarterback just did not play well. We ranked the top 5 quarterbacks in the league on Thursday, Joe. You know where he had Dak Prescott?
5th?
Number 1. He had
Okay,
Dak Prescott
Hold on, Joe.
Oh, here we
Adam,
go.
Once again, Adam presents things in an
Not
incorrect way.
correct. You're
We
right.
were
wrong?
ranking,
Not
like,
wrong?
We
I'm
were
right now.
ranking quarterbacks based on just this season,
Yeah.
not of what in the future, based on
Well, I
if we
still would've
only
had
saw
Dak
these
1.
7 or 6
Exactly.
weeks,
He had
whatever.
Dak 1. He had Dak.
But we
Go
had
ahead.
Daniel Jones 3, Adam. Like,
Daniel Jones played
Joe,
well this week, so he would have
we were
fit
not
in the
ranking
narrative.
the actual best 5 quarterbacks in the league. We're
Yeah.
saying based on the 7 weeks of play, who played the best was the ranking.
Yeah.
So I don't think Dak's the best quarterback in the league.
Yeah.
I think he's played the best so far.
Do you still feel he's played the best? You didn't have
Now
Baker
he's got
Mayfield in the
one,
top
he might
5.
be
You
3.
didn't even have-
I don't know, Adam. You can't get on Chris for that if you had Daniel Jones in the top 5 too.
I had him at 3, and he played
Yeah,
well
no,
this week.
well,
So if I
yeah,
did it
but
again
like-
this week,
Point
he'd be
is,
a 3.
he's not, I'm not saying he's the best quarterback. I'm saying through 7 weeks he was playing the best.
He was not, though. That was the problem. It was.
I think he was.
Before this week, you could have made the argument.
Oh yeah, when and I say, my quarterbacks when they play well, lost to a Panthers, yeah, baby, get blown out by the Bears and only score
I didn't know
13
Dak
points.
was the one
Playing
allowing 40
unbelievable.
or 35 to the Panthers.
13 points against Chicago.
Well, me personally, I would have had Mahomes
He had
in May.
one bad game. Adam, who was your number 1?
My number 1 was Patrick LaVon Mahomes II.
Oh, his pick
Patrick-
6 against the Jaguars was completely
getting-
not his fault.
That's a
The
good
game he
one.
had 300 yards. A game he had
He
over
gave the
350
game
yards.
Eagles
away
game.
to the Jags.
What about the
Man.
Chargers-Brazil game?
Not
Thank
bad.
you.
But he led the
Thank you,
team
Joe.
in rushing. Has Dak ever led his team in rushing? I don't think so.
It's not his fault Pacheco gets 18 yards
but
running
anyway,
a game.
I'll keep going because Chris also
You
said
look at
Saquon
the
Barkley
one
was
bad
washed.
game of
But
Dak,
Chris also
and
that
said
was a bad
Saquon
pick.
Barkley was
That was a bad
washed.
pick, Chris.
You also said Saquon was washed. And on the first play
I
today,
didn't say
he took
washed. I said he does not look as good, and I said it's
that. And
what
what
happens after a great
how
game.
long did it take him to look good today?
One play.
One play. And he
Yeah.
said, I'll go 65 yards and I'll shove it right in Chris Reynolds' face. I'll run for 150, not even playing the fourth quarter. That's what
I
I'll
don't
do
think
today.
I was saying Saquon's washed and he old and he sucks. I was saying
You literally said, and I quote, what would you think? Would you think that someone saying this is washed if you said, and I'll always reminisce about how good he used to be, but I guess this is who he is now.
Do you
He's going to
think
never rush
Saquon's
for
as
100
good as he
yards.
was last year or at
Well,
Penn
he just
State?
that looked a lot like last year today.
This
It
reminds me
didn't
of.
look
Just
a lot
remember
like
in our
last year.
first
The
season of
Giants'
Deal
defense
Zone?
is gone.
Chris, this is like
Huh?
in the first season of Deal Zone when you said Derrick Henry was washed.
Yeah, how'd that
Derrick
look?
Henry finally
3 years
is.
ago.
Derrick Henry finally is, Joe.
Yeah, but if you would have said that, I wouldn't be on you today. But Saquon Barkley ran for 150 yards
Listen.
on 14 carries today.
My point was, after a great year, these guys all tend to suck. And I said
he
Saquon's having
suck
a really
today?
tough year. And I said I'm panicked because nothing looks the same. The offensive line doesn't look the same, and Saquon doesn't look the same. That is true. This was the first time he's actually looked good this year.
Yeah, and they were missing a starting lineman, and he still cooked. How about that?
Oh my God!
didn't even need
he
it
was
today.
good with 4 offensive linemen instead of all 5 great starters. That's
Yeah,
great,
my
Adam.
goodness. Oh, great starters. They've been horrible this year. So how
I
about
know,
that?
Adam, but I'm saying like missing one offensive lineman doesn't mean you can't run the ball anymore.
No, but to 150 yards, Chris called him washed.
Adam,
How
you
about
look great. I didn't say
Yeah.
washed. That was your caption that
Well,
you
you
put
say,
on.
and I quote, I will reminisce about what he used to be.
Do you
Oh,
not
my
reminisce about
goodness.
Penn State Saquon? Joe, do you reminisce
Well,
about Penn State
in
Saquon?
Well, I'm not
college,
Penn
it's
State
different,
fan.
Chris, because they leave. So I have to reminisce. They're not going to play with me the
I
next
grew up
day.
watching- I grew up watching Giants Saquon, and I liked Penn State Saquon. And last year was a magical year. Even today, it wasn't magical like last season.
150 yards in 3 quarters, I think, is pretty damn good.
He had a great
So-
game. It wasn't like last year. He was the best player in the league.
Yeah, and today he
That's
looked like
better
he,
than this year, Adam.
and
That's
today
true.
he looked like one of the best players in the league. Did he not?
He looked good today. 1 week.
Okay, and what if this is just the propel point? He was a slow start, and now he's back.
Okay, we say that about, and was Tua back? Oh, Tua.
Oh,
You thought he
you're
was
down the
washed.
guy who
He
was the
went to
best.
trade the Falcons. He's back.
Chris, you're down the guy who literally last year won a Super Bowl.
I said he doesn't look as good this year. That is
And you
true.
said, I don't think he's going to look as
Oh,
good
my
again. You said-
Yeah, I don't think Saquon last year is going to happen
You
again.
don't
I
think he
that's a
could
fair
reach
point.
2020 Giants, Saquon Barkley?
I
you
didn't
don't
say
think it was
2020 Giants. I said
That's not what
20. I said last year's Eagles.
Well,
I
no,
don't
he's
think-
not going to be the best running back of all time every game, but he's going to be good. He's going to
What
be...
I was saying was he looks significantly worse as the whole run game and him both. It looks very different from last year, and I was panicked about that in my panic segment.
Man, I'm just
Guess what?
saying.
When you're
Just saying.
panicked about it, we're keeping an eye on it. And then he said, "No need to panic. We figured it out."
Yeah, no need to panic. Then you just complained about the Eagles and said you hate watching them, even though he ran for $150 today. So I think he's just an Eagles hater,
Listen,
Joe.
that was the
I think at
best
the end
play
of
the
the
Eagles
day, that's
did
all it
today.
is.
He's
He's
been
just
at
an
this a
Eagles
while.
hater. He's just an Eagles hater because last year his Saints
Yeah.
were 2-0 and the Eagles broke them.
That's not why I hate the Eagles. I hate the Eagles. The Saints beat the
Saquon with
Eagles.
that game-winning touchdown in that game.
Exactly. exactly.
There it is. Now we know.
The
Just
Saints,
like the touchdown to start the game today.
Not to mention the Alshon Jeffrey game years
Oh,
back.
yeah.
I remember Alshon Jeffrey's not dropping the ball and the Saints going on in the playoffs, Joe. That's
Oh wait,
the
yeah.
Alshon
Did I get
Jeffries
my years
remember.
mixed up?
Yeah, no, that's
Oh,
what they
okay.
did, and the Saints had a great run. They played one more playoff game than the Eagles
They
did
did.
that year.
Well, listen,
Right,
the
Alshon
two
Jeffrey, you're right, that was a
Saints-Eagles
drop,
games that I
not a
remember
catch.
were playoff games where the Saints won. So it's more about the Giants growing up in New York, hating them, and then seeing this team that I like all the players, but the product has been poopy.
Yeah, you
I got
imagine
my
that, though?
stars crossed. I was thinking when Nick Foles beat
Yeah.
him in 2013.
Yeah, but Chris out here, like I grew up in New York and because the Giants hated the Eagles, I had to hate the Eagles, even though I'm a Saints fan. I grew up in Pennsylvania. That doesn't mean I hate the Ravens. Like,
Well, I have my pain of the week.
Joe, the Saints beat the Eagles that year.
2013?
Yeah, the Saints
Oh,
didn't
you're
lose the
right.
Eagles. The Saints beat them. I'm
You're
telling you,
right.
the Saints have owned the Eagles in the
I guess
playoffs.
you're
I
right.
have no. I'm so
I was
glad.
just grasping at straws. I don't know.
Listen, Adam does that too. It's okay.
do you hate the Eagles? You hate the Eagles. You're a
Yeah,
hater.
I do hate. They're my least favorite team to watch right now. I loved Hurts in college. I like AJ.
You
You'd
said
rather
you
watch
didn't
the
like
Titans
watch-
than the Eagles?
Yeah, like what are we talking about?
I'm just saying though, the Titans don't have like
Well,
five great offensive
Joe, how about
weapons and
this?
decide to do a shove
How
up
about
the
this?
butt.
He would
every single
clearly
play.
rather watch the Eagles than his favorite team. Like he's made that clear. So I mean,
All right, my pain of the week before we go an hour on just me hating the Eagles and not watching Spencer Rattler, Adam, fumble
And
and,
Tyler
then
Shough.
throw a pick six in like back-to-back drives.
you said you hate watching the
And guess
Eagles,
what?
but you take the
When-
time to watch them.
When Shuck came in, I only watched the Saints game because I actually want to see how he looks because I'm actually interested.
I've been
Yeah.
Guess
asking
what?
for that for
Look the
weeks.
same as Spencer Rattler. Maybe
Well,
slightly.
he was actually way worse. Did you hear when the color commentator was like roasting Tyler Shuck? He was like, I have to be honest, he did not earn a start next week in this game. I thought that
No,
was
he did
awesome.
not. But I literally thought to myself, like, there's nothing that Rattler does that I'm like,
Rattler's better.
no,
Like,
Rattler's
really?
better, but I'm like, he's playing terribly. I'm like, it's not
Chris,
like
they're just
Shuck is
they're
like,
just a bad team.
I know, but like, I'm
You
watching
don't need to break
Shuck,
this down.
like, I'm watching Rattler literally give the ball to the other team. I was like, fine, just, I'm like, why not do a different quarterback for the game? He was getting booed off the field.
You're
Hey,
looking
Kareem-
at a poisoned apple and a poisoned grape. You just gotta pick which one you'd rather take.
But my point is, we've been eating the poison apple for
So
7 weeks. I was
if you-
fine with us tasting the poison grape for, you know.
And you can keep tasting it
half.
if you want.
And-
It's cool. It's not
I don't
gonna
think we
work,
have
but
to
it's
start
cool.
next week, but I'm just watching, like, both options suck. We might as well try them both.
I think the Saints need to give former Penn State running back Devin Neal at least one rush next week. He has yet
We
to
don't
get
use
a rush.
Kamara, and we don't use any running back, honestly. We kind of just do dump offs and whatever. And Rashid
Mhm.
Shaheed cannot hold on to a ball. Anyways, my loser this week, I already talked about the Giants. I'm not going to dwell on it again. They
Your
had
pain of
some
the
fun
week.
momentum
Yeah,
2
pain of
weeks
the week.
ago. My pain of the week, I had the Giants 2 weeks ago. They're flying high. They're beating the Eagles. It was great. Last week, they completely fell apart to the Broncos. And this week, they lost Scadaboo, who was kind of the heart and soul of that team. Dart's kind of the other part of that, but it's really Scadaboo brings that energy, and Dart plays off of it. And with him gone for the year, you're really just watching Dart with Singletary and Tyrone Tracy, which is a lot less exciting than Dart and Scadaboo. Scadaboo was
Yeah.
taking over New York. Like, anytime I put on any of the local stations here and the sports stuff, it's Scadaboo, like, at the Knicks game, or Scadaboo, like, was shirtless after
Yeah.
the game. So,
Yeah.
Well, I mean, it's not hard to take over New York football right now. So, I mean,
how dare you disrespect Justin Fields?
Quickly,
that's what you do every week. So, I mean,
Adam, I literally defended Fields and believed in him going into this year.
well, no one's defended him more than I have because he was
I
once a
picked
Penn
them
State
to win 2 weeks ago in our
He wa-
weekly
he-
picks.
Yeah, but some of us have loved him since he was committed to come to Penn State, and then he decided not to and ended
Adam,
up at
you
Georgia.
said one positive thing about Justin Fields this whole season.
Well, some of us might be a little upset that he decided to go to Georgia and then transfer to Penn State's one of
So
their
do you
biggest
like
rivals and beat
Fields
him
or
twice.
not? You keep flip flopping.
I have a lot of respect
on my
for him. He
answer.
played one of the best games I've ever seen in my life. I have a lot of respect for him. Doesn't mean I
okay.
like him. I'm still a
Alright.
little upset
Joe,
about it.
before I decapitate Adam, what's your
Yeah,
what's your
good
pain?
luck, buddy. Thanks for inviting me to
Alright.
Disney. Good luck,
what did
buddy.
you say? My pain in the week?
Yeah, your pain of the
Yeah,
week.
so I'm in a million fantasy leagues, and I have Dak in like half of them, including my $100 buy-in league. I'm currently winning 120 to 94, but I'm done. Projected to lose 123-120. So shout out to Dak and Jake Ferg. I have them both in this league for combining for 6 points, and I'm probably going to lose by according to the sleeper app, by 3 points. So thanks to them for that. Jake Ferg, as you guys already mentioned, but he's leading the league in receptions, and he had 1 target today. What is that?
And it was picked.
That was atrocious. That's my pain of the week, and my dad for having to watch the Cowboys.
Actually, Joe, you mentioned it. My fantasy team was 7-0, and this week, I scored the 7 highest points in the league, 2nd highest points in the league, and I'm about to lose and ruin my perfect season because Bijan Robinson did nothing.
Yeah.
Shout out Mac Young. Mac
Young killed my amazing team with stupid. I don't even know. It was really Bijan did nothing.
I don't know. I'll take credit. I'll take credit for it because I was with him today. That's how it happened.
Adam was taking it to Chris today.
Dang.
Listen,
right.
Adam used to be one of my friends who would support me, and then since the podcast, he's flipped.
I do. No,
the dark side.
Look, it's not my fault. We do the podcast. We need to have entertainment philosophy. I still support you privately.
You know, Adam, Payne and Panic. We're actually.
Chris doesn't agree with conflict on podcasts. That's why he pretended he thought the Raptors were going to be bad.
I know!
And he picks them to make the playoffs on your pod. I was so mad.
Listen,
I know.
That was before I was, back heavily invested
in the NBA. So you didn't do prep for my pod, huh, Chris? That's what I'm hearing.
I did not about the Raptors. I did not.
You did, though, because you were literally talking about every player on their team, so you clearly did do prep.
That's just what I remember. Back in my heyday, but now we're back in we're sharpening our tools in the NBA. Anyways, we go to our panics.
All right, Chris, you can start since you've been going today. You can start.
All right, my panic. Spencer Rattler, not like this season or for the Saints' hopes, but in his career, I think it might be just done. He was so bad today.
He's a backup quarterback.
He could be a backup, but this idea of maybe there's something there, I think officially has sailed. I think that's
sure.
The start that he had today, once you get booed on your home field and then you get benched, there's really no coming back for that. Anthony Richardson last year, that happened too. Bryce Young, they benched and they brought him back in. And then he had a small resurgence.
Huh? Yeah. We can call that the Carson Wentz rule.
Yeah. I feel once you're at home and you get benched for someone who clearly sucks, it's clearly all right, clearly this guy's bad.
It's happened before. Jalen Hurts got benched for Nate Sudfeld in a season finale game once.
What?
Do you remember that when the Eagles intentionally lost the game to the Commanders and kept the Giants out of the playoffs?
I do remember that. When you were saying Jalen got benched, I thought you were going to say for Tua in the championship.
That's what I was thinking too.
No, Nate Sudfeld, season finale, Doug Peterson's last game in Philly.
That's another reason why I hate the Eagles, because I'm a secondary Giants fan of most of my family will root for the Giants, so I'd always grow up watching the Giants, and I'll root for them as long as they're not playing the Saints. And that year, I just remember being wow, the Eagles and Jalen Hurts, they're gonna win. I like this Jalen. I love Jalen in college, and then they purposely lost, and I'm damn, those stupid Eagles can't do anything. I hate them.
No, okay. Giants fans still complain about that. They would have made the playoffs at 6-10. So let's stop the whining, okay? You would have lost to Brady on a Super Bowl run anyway. So let's.
It's still fun to make the playoffs, Adam.
Yeah, they could have lost, but then they would have lost to Brady in the playoffs, and they wouldn't have had it.
No one goes into the playoffs oh, we're gonna lose, so we don't want to make the playoffs anyways. You want to get in. You want to have that excitement and see what happens. That's the most fun thing.
Yeah.
Is it fun to be the Browns? Sure they suck, but I'm sure they'd like to at least make the playoffs. Look at the Kings. The Kings sold their soul and their franchise for 20 years just to make one playoffs.
Yeah, the Giants could have been sitting there with that 10th pick, and they had a pick, and they could have done something with it. They traded back to draft Kadarius Toney. So
Kadarius Toney was an incredible prospect.
Super Bowl champion.
Super Bowl champion. Had a big play.
He was good in the Super Bowl too, which
he was.
He was good in the Super Bowl. I know his rookie year, he was injured most of it, but when he played, he was phenomenal. Yeah. And then I think he had CTE or something.
But they could have drafted Micah Parsons. They could have drafted Micah Parsons.
Could have drafted
maybe. All right, next one.
Is it my panic?
Yeah.
All right. Yeah. So this week, NBA Hall of Fame coach or NBA Hall of Fame player, now former Portland Trailblazers coach Chauncey Billups was arrested by Kash Patel and his guys over at the FBI. Now my panic is not for him though. It is for the rookie on the Portland Trailblazers. Wait, I'm gonna get it right. Hanson Young is how you say it. He wrote that in his Players Tribune article.
Yeah.
It was a really awesome article. Everyone should go read it and learn how to say his name and learn all about him as a player. But I was all in on this guy. I read that article, the character he's shown, the emotion he showed after fouling out of a game in the preseason, and just the skills he is shown. He could be like a Chinese Nikola Jokic. He could be the next Şengün, Sabonis, things like that. If his potential is reached. It's a long shot.
I was gonna say you're throwing
It's
some
a
big
long
names
shot.
out there.
It's a long shot, but so was Jokic, Şengün, Sabonis. All these guys were at least outside the lottery picks, just like Hanson Young. And his head coach getting fired after the first game for illegal gambling, I think it's going to really hurt that agenda.
Been fired.
It's going to really hurt that agenda. Okay,
Wait,
not fired.
How does Chauncey Billups
He's
relate
been
to
banned
him?
from the league, basically.
He's his head coach.
So
No, but like,
I'm
do we
pressing
not
the
think
panic.
Thiago Splitter can get some
Yeah, I
something
feel like
out of him?
Thiago Splitter was working with him a lot.
Well, hopefully.
Thiago's probably the big man's coach.
I think
Thiago
he'll
was
still
never much
be
of a
able to
passer
grow
in
and
his
develop.
days.
Also, Joe, I have a bone to pick with you.
Oh, yeah?
Terry Rozier, who's a player,
Yeah.
was
Rigged a
betting
game.
on games
Rigged
and was
it.
to the point where he left the game early, told his friend that it was going to happen, and then was counting the money the next day.
Yeah.
And he did not make the anti-culture rankings.
Oh, well,
but
that's
Chauncey
here's
Billups,
why. I can explain that. I have an
yeah,
easy
why
explanation.
did Terry not, when Chauncey was like, yeah, man, we're going to tank.
Well, Chauncey Billups, he's the head coach. Like,
And Chauncey Billups
and he's
also
a legend. And the fact that you make you allow that to happen, you make those decisions when you're the head coach of not just Hanson Young, like a ton of young guys are relying on you to lead them into the future of their NBA careers. He's a well-respected guy, he's been around forever. And then you make those poor choices, and now you're in this situation. That's why he's on the anti-culture ranks. Terry Rozier, one that happened a year ago. We already knew about that. But also, he's just a player. He's just a backup point guard for the Heat.
To
I know
me,
he's
it
a starter
bothers
at
me
one
more
point.
that a player is going to leave a game and then does it than the coach telling someone that the team's deciding to tank.
It wasn't. It's the anti-culture
wasn't like
rankings aren't like
Chauncey
the are you
threw
a good
games.
person or not rankings. It's like Terry Rozier to me isn't culture. Like he's never built he's really never built culture.
But Ben
that goes
Simmons
back to
doesn't build
Louisville.
culture, does he? But like
Chauncey Billups to me was completely
What are we
anti-culture.
doing,
I think-
guys?
I think Terry Rozier's actions were more harmful to the league than Chauncey Billups telling someone that the team told him they were going to tank the rest of the season than Terry Rozier in the middle of a game leaving early and having his friends under bets hit.
I mean, I'm not defending Terry Rozier.
I'm just saying, I feel like those actions were more
Guys,
were less of a culture I'd want.
There's an
Chauncey Billups.
easy solution to this. Did Jonte Porter ever make the anti-culture rankings?
He might have. Okay, Chris, you
Okay,
win.
well, if he made it, then there's probably, if he
Well, I
didn't,
think I
then
put Terry.
we got,
I might have put Terry Rozier on them a year ago. To be honest,
he might have. Yeah,
I
forget.
don't think I knew that this happened last year to Terry
yeah, it was getting
Rozier.
investigated.
Oh,
in
it was a big.
2020.
Chris, we
Yeah.
talked about it on the. Oh,
But
you know
like-
what? When we did the redraft, I mentioned it, and you didn't know what I was talking about.
Yeah,
now
Listen, last year was my least ever NBA season. I was in
Sure.
Disney. I remember when the Luka
You
Doncic
saw
trade
about
happened.
Brook Lopez though.
Oh, Brooke, my guy. Tony Brothers, my other guy. When Luka Doncic got traded, I ran around all of the front of Magic Kingdom looking for someone who knew who Luka Doncic was, and not a single coworker knew. I was asking random guests, "You hear about that Luka Doncic trade?" And when one finally did, helped me out. But besides that, no one knew. And then basketball kind of died for a little bit in Orlando.
Yeah. God forbid he calls us, Joe. Could have just gave
Well,
us
he
a
did.
phone
was
call.
did a pod with me.
working.
He did a
Yeah.
long pod with me.
It could have just gave us a phone call. But anyway, I'm hitting the panic button on my Penn State Nittany Lions. Yeah, just a lot of things happened today.
What has to
we-
happen for it to be elevated from a panic?
I'll
to a
explain
game?
it. LSU fired Brian Kelly. So LSU gets rid of Brian Kelly. We predicted this last week, Chris. We did when we were talking about college football buyouts. But now Penn State, which 2 weeks ago was maybe the most attractive job opening in the country, has now dropped to third because LSU is by far the best job in the country. When you look at recruiting, New Orleans, money, like everything you have, you can just recruit all Louisiana guys. You might be able to win a national championship. Like they have that much ability to get talent. Florida's probably better for the same reason. So Penn State's already dropped to third. More jobs are going to come available. Florida State might become available. Auburn might become available. So there's a lot of jobs out there. Penn State continues to fall down the pecking order when you need to make a great hire. You never know what could happen. Plus, you play Ohio State and Indiana the next 2 weeks. That doesn't look fun. Now, I'm holding out hope. Might be able to pull off an upset. But when you play the number 1 and number 2 teams in the country in the next 2 weeks, it's not looking great. And then you ask what happened to Penn State fans. Penn State season has been a nightmare. Been tough to watch. So you're like, man, so what am I going to do with the rest of the season? I'll support Missouri's only got 1 loss. Bo Prabula, former Penn State quarterback out there. Let's just watch Missouri. Missouri loses 17-10 to Vanderbilt, and when the game's 3-3 on 4th and goal, Bo Prabula hurts his ankle and he's going to miss the rest of the season. So you can't even watch Missouri anymore. Now, if you're a Penn State, if you like the other Penn State sports, Penn State hockey still is the betting favorite to win the national championship. Penn State men's basketball won a scrimmage today against a D2 team.
Yes, they did.
Yes, so
they did.
that's a win. Penn State women's volleyball beat Ohio State, so there's some positives out there. The women's hockey team's undefeated, but yeah, Penn State football. I would start to panic about just the amount of great coaches they may be able to hire, just because on the fact that now all these other jobs are opening up. There's going to be more competition, and then you might have to overpay for a guy that you never know if it's going to work out anyway with coaching hires. So that's why I'd be panic if I'm Penn State, just because jobs keep opening up.
Adam, do you have a coach you want?
Yes, Brian Hartline, offensive coordinator at Ohio State.
Right.
He's phenomenal. I will say if Penn State will hire him, I do want Jeremiah Smith as a package deal. I think that it's only fair. It's only fair, right? It's only fair. Bring the receiver with you if you'd like, or bring a couple of the 5-star freshmen if you'd like to. Yeah. But no, I'd like Brian Hartline. If they're going to go with an experienced coach, I do like Eli Drinkwitz from Missouri. I think he's a good coach. So
bring Bo back.
Yeah.
I feel like for Penn State, I just feel like Penn State and LSU, it's very different, the type of coaches that would want to go there anyway. So like there's not a lot of overlap there, so I'm not too worried about it.
You'd be surprised. You would be very surprised.
But like I feel like the guys that Penn State was looking at were guys who are in the Big Ten or like have some Penn State connection. You know what I mean? So I don't think it's a huge thing. I'm also hoping Franklin goes to one of those big jobs, and that's like someone that we wouldn't even be looking at, and also I kind of want him to ruin someone else's program. So
he's not going to ruin anyone's program.
I want him to go there and do what he did to us of just not win the big game.
Build him up and make him a relevant program again.
I want him to go to LSU and not be able to win a big game.
He's going to go to Arkansas.
He's not going to LSU. I said the 4 jobs I think James Franklin would take. Florida State, if it opens up, would be his number 1.
That's one of the ones you listed as a potential.
I said potential. Virginia Tech. I think he would do very well at Virginia Tech, and that actually might hurt Penn State because of recruiting, because Penn State really attacks the DMV. He'd be right in that recruiting background. Stanford, I think he'd be a good fit because of the ACC. Like I said, I think he's got to go somewhere where he feels he can win a conference, and the SEC is going to be hard because of how loaded the SEC is. And 4, Oklahoma State. No one's talking about that job opening. That's a Big 12 job that he would be able to recruit well at. So I think those are the 4 jobs James Franklin's probably looking at. I don't think he's getting the LSU job. Maybe Florida if they strike out on a bunch of guys. Maybe Ole Miss if Lane Kiffin leaves. But, yeah. So, no, there's concerning. You'd be surprised. LSU, every coach in the country wants to coach at LSU. It's like Kalen DeBoer at Alabama would probably think about leaving to go to LSU. Like that's how attractive of a job it is.
For Penn State, they have had a very good track record of hiring coaches who've been there for a long period of time. So I think they will figure it out.
Well, Chris, they've only had to hire 3 coaches in the last 66 years.
Exactly. It's like the Packers with the QB. It's like, I'm sure their history says they will find one who could be there for a long time and be successful.
Well, yeah, but they also didn't have one coach. It's not like one quarterback played for 54 years and then the next one paid for a little bit.
I'm just going to trust Penn State. They have a history of bringing in the right coach who could be there and build something for a long time.
Joe, you said the one name I did not want to hear on this podcast today. 1-7 for Boston College this year,
really?
by the way.
Oh, my God.
Yeah, they're bad. They're really
hilarious.
bad. Jeff Brom's another guy to look at, Joe. He's a nice Louisville's coach. Really good coach. Good ball coach right there. Not Chris, but it's fun. Coaching carousel is going to be crazy in college football this year because there's so many big jobs open. It's going to be interesting.
Game of Thrones.
Yeah,
Sure.
that's what Chris compared it to.
Yep.
God forbid we compare it to Friday Night Lights. You know.
Friday Night Lights for me, I haven't seen the movie, only the show.
Well, I was talking
And-
about the show, but
And I know, but like just the show has like 3 different, or is like really 2 different shows to me. So like I don't even know how I feel about it now, because like in the beginning it's one thing, in the second half of it's
season
totally
1 is
different.
one of the best seasons of television I've ever watched.
Yep.
It's so
Yep.
good.
That's what I
Season
mean,
2 is
like,
good too. Once Matt Saracen leaves, it all goes downhill.
yeah, I kind of like, then it just becomes with them as people, like completely outside of football. And I'm like, why am I watching Julie Taylor and like her love?
Whoa. I love Julie Taylor. Don't you ever disrespect Julie Taylor. I love Julie Taylor. Her and Matt Saracen's relationship, tears in my eyes every time.
It really bothered me.
The one gripe I have in the early seasons of Friday Night Lights is how old is Tim Riggins? I thought he was a senior in season 1.
I just don't think that, I think they didn't address it or something.
Yeah,
and then they were
just
like,
never
COVID
say it, but like he's
eligibility.
best friends with who's the quarterback's name
oh,
that gets hurt?
Jason Street.
Jason Street. Him and Street
The
are
fact
best
that I
friends.
remembered that was
Yeah,
very.
him and Street are best friends, and like you would think you're senior, but then like he's a sophomore with Matt Saracen, who like no one really knew. Like it's
But like, if they're in the football team, like I'm sure they're gonna be friends, even if one's a junior, one's a senior.
yeah, but even like as a sophomore, like in the preseason when they do like the little video at the beginning of the year when they're talking about the team, they talk about Tim Riggins, this big returning guy who's been there for a while, and he's like a vet.
I think they were like, "Oh,
Look,
we can do another season.
They just didn't want to
We like
recast
him.
another
We never
character.
really said he's a senior, so let's just keep him in there."
They just didn't want to recast another charter. We all know what actually happened.
I
Tim
think
Riggins was
they just were
successful,
like,
so
let's
they just
keep him
wanted
on
to
the
keep
football
him
team.
around.
It's more enjoyable, and we never technically said he's a senior. even though we
Exactly.
implied
Yeah, they
it.
were just like, Tim Riggins could stay on the team. Why not?
Listen,
But they could've-
Matt Saracen the first year was perfect. Then after
love
that, it
Matt
was just
Saracen.
a bunch of weird stuff.
I love Matt Saracen.
My
So
boy
good.
right there.
So good. When Michael B. Jordan comes in, he does reignite the show a little bit.
He does, but it's a different show by then.
Yeah,
where
it's a
I'm just
completely
like,
different show.
I feel like I'm watching Anthony Richardson play football, but like
You've
in a
never
better
seen-
way.
You've never
Like,
seen
it
the
went
movie,
right
though?
way.
You've
No.
never seen the movie? Movie's good. It's a true story. Like, the movie's a true story.
Yeah.
So, like,
What's the
that
guy's?
was really
What's
good.
the running back's name? Smash?
Booby Miles.
No, no.
Smash in the TV show is
Yeah.
Smash. In the
I like
movie,
him too.
in the movie, it's Booby Miles.
I like Smash. I just feel like with him, I don't know. We were going too off topic. I'm not going to go too long. We've been
Oh,
going
come
for a while.
on. We can talk about... We did this with Who Killed the Montreal Expos last episode, so...
I really think that was Netflix needs to stop. They just keep doing this like version of documentaries of like this event happened. We're gonna explain it, and instead of going from point A to point B, they go to like 30 other points that don't actually matter, and then they get to the ending of like had no money, and then they left. Instead, it's
Yeah.
like
They went... Joe,
This
if you didn't
guy
watch,
came
they
in-
go
this guy
90
came-
minutes on the fact that Montreal just ran out of money.
yeah, like
Yeah.
Amy Bradley went missing. I watched, and like halfway through, I'm like, this is so long. Like we don't even know, and they're just like going of like this one guest thinks he saw someone that looked like her. I'm like, oh my god, none of this is probably true at this
I'll
point.
tell you, the best documentary maybe I've ever watched is American Manhunt, Osama bin Laden. It is so good. Like, genuinely so good.
I watched one of the 9/11 like finding Osama bin Laden ones, which was good, but that was another one where like after the second episode, like all of episode 3, I'm like.
Well, you didn't watch the one I watched. Episode 3 was sick. The SEALs come in. Holy smokes. They go through the entire operation of how they did it. That was
I think that was
sick.
episode 4, but there was one of the episodes where I'm like, unless
I
I
forget
was
how many
in the
episodes there were.
CIA, I was just lost and confused.
Oh, I thought it was cool.
I
Another
think
one
we
that's...
watched a different one.
No, we probably watched the same one. But I
Maybe.
like all the
I
CIA
watched it
stuff.
twice because I was really like
Yeah.
thoroughly invested in it. But
Mhm.
like,
I'll tell you another good one of American Manhunt, O.J. Simpson. Because they get all, like, the big characters. Now, everyone kind of knows the O.J. story at this point because it's been told a million different times.
O.J. Simpson.
Yeah, the actor and the football player.
Oh right. You
Yeah.
did a presentation about him. I
yeah,
forgot.
Yeah, he's in the Naked Gun movies. He's but
I watched the
the
what-
TV
how
show.
is- Yeah, but the one where they're like they have like an actor playing, and Cuba Gooding is OJ, and like
Yeah,
they re-
yeah.
those, like,
American Crime Story. Yeah.
Is that what it's
an
called?
FX. It's an FX show. American
I
Crime
remember-
Story:
I
The
remember
People
the
versus
episode.
O.J. Simpson. Because American Crime Story is like the
I didn't
cop
watch
head,
any
and then
documentary. I only did like
no, the documentary on it that Netflix did. They have like literally like Charles like Darden's in it. They have like someone from OJ's defense teams on it. The cops are in it. Like it isn't like it gets everybody that was important in it is in it and talks about it, which is crazy. OJ's agent in it and basically said that he did it and he admitted that he did it, which was mind-boggling.
I just think the funniest O.J. Simpson thing was when I don't remember what news station it was, but he was like, "Here's if I had done it, here's how
he
I
wrote a
would've done
book.
it."
He wrote a book.
Yeah.
If I did it. If I
And
did
then
it.
I just remember there was like a news clip with an interview.
I was just watching. We watched the Family Guy episode of Peter Griffin golfing with O.J. Simpson the other day.
Yeah.
That's with him stabbing some guy and running away, and Peter Griffin goes, "Maybe he did do it." So good, so good. Rest in peace, O.J. Simpson.
Adam,
Rest in
peace, Nick Mangold.
Yes, rest in peace, Nick Mangold. There we go.
And Doug Martin.
Yeah. Sadly, those two passed away. Nick Mangold this morning, which is really sad. So, congrats on the Jets for getting the win for him. That's really important. In the state of Ohio, too, where he's from. So, it's a lot of great things there. So, God rest his. I think it was 3 weeks ago they said he needed a transplant. They were looking for a match. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's sad. Very sad.
Mm-hmm.
You ready to get out of here yet, Chris?
I've been ready. I just didn't know how to.
You're allowed to end this whenever you want.
Like
You have the editing power.
Well, did you get your tickets?
Yeah, did you? Lightning Lane?
So I looked at it and it says 14 days out I can look at it, 7 days out I could book it. So I don't know what the point is
Wait,
being able to look at it.
Hold up.
14 days out.
Of
So I
all the
couldn't
people
book
that wouldn't have known that, you didn't know that?
I never had to stay at a park and book a Lightning Lane because I was always just there. So I never spent money on Lightning Lane.
There?
Huh?
What about before you worked there?
Yeah, like you didn't just
know
ask.
that Disney changes their process of how they do things? Like every time there's like
You didn't ask Bill. You're like, Bill, how do we do this?
he doesn't know how to do it. We never buy Lightning Lanes. I was just gonna buy for one ride, but so Disney changes their system like every few years to make it different.
I'll send this segment to my sister.
Yeah, it's either ultra communist or ultra capitalism of like you either everyone gets three. No. So it used to be listen, no. Disney used to just be like, hey guys, if you want a fast pass for a ride, pay for it, and then you could buy as many as you want for each ride. And then or they were like certain rides you need to pay for. Then Disney then was like everyone who visits gets 3 fast passes for the day. No matter if you pay for it or not. And that was all communism. Then people were like, everyone has a fast pass now, so there's no point of the fast pass when everyone has a fast pass. And all the fast pass options that were good were already gone somehow. So then they went back to capitalism of now that's a little bit of communism. They found more of a balance of like you pay
You
for
said
one.
communism way too much on this episode already.
But they-
Ravens Dolphins, Chris. Who do you got for game picks for Thursday night?
Okay, well,
You
you know what?
segment?
I forgot to ask him. So
Who is
that
it?
should be
Ravens Dolphins.
Ravens Dolphins Thursday night.
I will
Who
never
is
pick the Dolphins. Give me the Ravens.
Okay, we just need to pick that one. We'll pick the rest on
I'll take the
our
Ravens.
next episode. This thing's went off the rails. I almost got in a fight this weekend though at a hockey game.
Good.
Me and Ben
Typical
Palillo
place to get in
almost
a
fought.
fight.
We almost fought a 19-year-old that was playing on the Danbury Hat Tricks.
Oh, they're right by me.
His last name was Dempster, and I was letting him have it. I called him a bum a couple times. Told him to meet me in the parking lot, not thinking Mac was on our way out. Mac works for the Elmira Aviators. First sweep in club history this week, by the way. First home sweep in club history, so good for them. But
I'm not
when on our way
clapping
out, on our way out, we walked right by their locker room, and I was like, Mac, what are you doing? I'm wearing a bright Mighty Ducks jersey. I think they remember me. I'm like, well, I'm going to have to get in a fight back here. Then we went to the Aviators side, and we were all good. But, yeah.
Danbury
I got a
Hat
little
Tricks are right next to me, Adam. You didn't say hi.
Chris, I was in Elmira. I wasn't
I
in
know, but you
Danbury.
should have gone on the bus with them and come visit me.
Yeah, I wasn't. I nearly fought half their team. I thought I've made that very clear that I didn't think I was
but
very
you still
welcomed on the bus.
Make amends and then get on the bus with them.
They lost 7-2, Chris. I don't think they want to be on that bus. It's bad loss. It was a bad loss, but yeah, almost got in a fight. I'll tell you off the air why Chris's recent statements made me think of that. But
Stop it. I just
What is going on?
We need to end the podcast. The longer we drag on, the worse it gets. And I already finished my Disney point. It's fine. We're just gonna cut the whole Disney segment out. It's fine. But if you want to know about Disney being communist or capitalist, let me know in the
You
comments.
said it again. I thought we cut
That's
you
not
off.
the
You
part
can
that
at least most
you
of
want
that,
to cut
yeah.
out
I thought we cut you off on communism. I thought we said we're
No,
done with
listen.
it.
It's either everyone gets
Something
fast pass
else.
or have to pay for it. You know what I mean?
I like Chris. You were talking to me about redoing the college program again, and now you keep calling Disney a bunch of communists. So I'm a little
I'm
concerned.
saying their fast pass system is two ends of the
Comrade
spectrum.
Caitlin
Either
Murphy.
if everyone gets it, or you have to pay extremes for it. There's no in between.
There you go. So I understand. I get what you mean. I don't know where this thing went off the rails.
Gonna
We
do
should
it
have
for
stayed on
this
Friday.
episode of
We should have stayed on Friday Night Lights. We should have never left Friday Night Lights.
Yeah,
Once we left Friday Night Lights, it was all downhill.
Yeah.
But that is
I
going
like
to
the
do
show
it.
after season 2. Should have just ended it.
We're back to Friday Night Lights. Okay.
No, I was doing a finishing point, Adam. Let
Go
Joe go to
Packers.
sleep.
All
Go
right.
Pack.
Yep. Go
Pack,
Pack. Go. Saw a Jags fan in Elmira too. I wasn't expecting that. So gave him the Duval. But that is gonna do it. Please make sure to like the channel, subscribe. Make sure go check out all our shorts, whether it be on TikTok, Instagram, or right here on YouTube Shorts. For our special guest Joe Tuman, thank you for joining us. For my partner Chris Reynolds, I am Adam Sheets. Thank you for listening.